What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the OddsShopper channel, coming to you with a massive NFC West edition of NFL Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. It's Thursday Night Football. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. We got producer Jacob back on hand here. Give me those good vibes, that good juju, because Monday, holy mother of God, got steamrolled. Some people decided to point out 0 for 4. I was 0 for 2. I had 2 bets. 2. Do you know how this works? We have leans, likes, and locks. Leans, those are things I'm thinking about betting. I talk you through it. If it gets upgraded to a play, either ask me on X or check it out in the premium Discord. I promise you I will tell you. A like, those are things that are generally around a half unit, and locks, those are generally around a unit unless specified for more or less otherwise. Now, it's only one game that you're breaking down on these showdown slates, but overall, we have now hit 15 of our last 22 locks on prime time for this program. Do you know how insane of a run that is? It's been a fantastic run. So I'm really sorry that I missed your lock on Monday. And yeah, just got everything wrong about a football game. That's going to happen from time to time, but my job is to give you the best information I possibly can. Keep that lean like lock idea in your mind. I've been doing it for 4 years. There's a reason to it. I always find it weird when people don't specify their confidence level in things. Plus, you shouldn't be betting the exact same thing on every single play. Yes, you should have units. You should have allocations. You should understand bankroll management. You should understand Kelly criterion to some extent. If you wanted to get into that, we can definitely talk about that. But I'm here to make you money. You can sign up for my Discord down below, Lindy50. That'll help you in that department. Plus, anything that is a lean that I talk about, well, we can upgrade that. There's a lot of bets to talk about, prospective bets, but I got 2 pretty clear-cut winners. I'm feeling good about it. Short week for such a massive, massive football game. We got the Rams visiting San Francisco. Producer Jacob, without further ado, let's get to the picks. The 7-6 Los Angeles Rams taking on the 6-7 San Francisco 49ers. We're going up north to Northern California. We've got a very, very fun football game. Got a little bit of a doozy. Looks like decent chance of rain, like light rain, that is. Not anything compared to these snow games, but 57 degrees at kickoff. Was definitely double checking that because, well, it's like winter time, and there's actually winter up there in San Francisco to some extent. People just think it's always warm. It is freezing freaking cold. Anyway, Los Angeles, they coming off of like an all-time classic football game. They gave up 6 touchdowns to Josh Allen, 3 on the ground, 3 through the air, and still found a way to win a football game because Puka Nacua. Mufasa's coming out to check that out. But anyway, we got an interesting one with him because the guy is an absolute stud. And I think this is a much better matchup than what you would have previously thought in like previous iterations of this football game. Purely because Charvarius Ward has not been very good so far this season. He is way down in the doldrums in PFF grading, 53.5. What is that? That is the 98th out of 118 cornerbacks that have been graded so far that meet the snap allotment criterion. That's not ideal. You do have you have Lenore. That's the other guy on the other side. He'll probably be on more Demarcus Robinson if he suits up, who is questionable, which leads me into this. There are 2 massive Q tags, I think, on tomorrow's slate. The first one, Nick Bosa. We all know him. He's the edge guy out on the corner. His torso got dinged up. I currently have him out for this football game. I think he's more unlikely to play for San Francisco. That is a huge difference in pass rush because you get Verse. Freeze, everybody, clap your hands. On the Rams side, he's very good. And, well, he's been a better edge rusher than anybody expected out of Florida State here as a rookie. Unbelievable stuff from him. Just keeps getting better every single game. Although that Rams defense, well, they're not the huge concern for me, even with those 6 touchdowns given up. No. I'm worried about their offensive line, where last week you saw an unbelievable performance by Mr. Jackson. Whoa, he was for real. Alaric Jackson, the #1 PFF graded tackle in football for week 14. He was incredible. If you watched that game, he was pushing the line the whole way. I mean, Buffalo had no pass rush. It was basically Matt Stafford just hanging out back there. That's why you had both teams score infinity points, if we're being honest. But Alaric Jackson's questionable. I think he is more likely to play, and a lot of my plays are under the assumption he's in. I think it would be a stone cold disaster for me based on what I'm looking at in my modeling if he was out. Because again, we see Trent Williams out on the San Francisco side, and yeah, they were successful against a Bears defense that's just disintegrated at the moment and not really trying and has had multiple coaching staffs and problems. I mean, Shane Waldron was an offensive problem, but still, I mean, there's no doubt that the Bears, with Brown taking over, are struggling to find an identity on the defensive side of the football. All the emphasis on the Caleb Williams side. But let's start breaking down some plays, shall we? Last week, I was a little bit frustrated. People brought up all of the 0-2 in the lean department stuff because neither of those ended up plays. So you know what I'm doing? I'm putting none in your box up here, but I'm going to talk you through a couple of plays that I've really got my eye on for right now. First off, Cooper Kupp. I think with all the attention coming in on Puka Nacua, rightfully, you're going to have linebacker support, whether it's Winters, Campbell, or, obviously Fred Warner, you want doing everything on a football field. He's the best linebacker in football, in my opinion. You got Hufanga, you got, a number of these like new pieces that are having to get integrated. I mean, basically, safety position is just distraught out there in San Francisco at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to really help in on and double team Nacua. But with how bad Trevarius Ward's been so far this season, he's going to get a lot of double teams, I think, from that safety support. I think Cooper Kupp in the slot looks really nice to me. We saw Roma Dunze and what he was capable of doing. Even though San Francisco put the foot down, I find no problem whatsoever in firing up a little bit more of Cooper Kupp. The other one that I really like, that I think is a little bit off the board, is if you get Demarcus Robinson ruled out, I'm looking strictly at Tutu Atwell. You also have Jordan Whittington, who's questionable. I don't think he's very likely to play. And even if he does, you're kind of looking for a different type of wide receiver there. And I think Tutu Atwell and his speed and ability, when you've had Robinson out, he's been pretty serviceable for them. I think Tutu Atwell, some of the alt numbers on him would look really good for me in that event that he was ruled out. The tight end position kind of falling by the wayside now in Sean McVay's offense. So those are the two I really want you paying attention to. But right now, nothing is going in the official lean category because people don't listen. It just is what it is. Let's get to the like play, shall we? For me, it comes down to props. And there's one guy who is starting to get mixed in a little bit more in Blake Corum. He's got 8 carries now the last 2 games, but in such a massive division rivalry spot, the only way that Kyren Williams is getting ripped off the field in like a 70-80% snap minimum is injury. That's it. Kyren Williams is locked into a massive role here with these Rams. And while we have Nacua, who's going to just get all of the attention coming off of an evisceration of Buffalo's secondary, and while you have Cooper Kupp, who obviously the rapport he has with Stafford, nice to see him staying healthy, Kyren Williams is such a game changer, and that's where Jackson really makes the most sense for me. I think you have to take Alaric Jackson into account. If you want to wait until he's officially in for this, that's fine. We're talking about a left tackle. I hope you've seen The Blind Side, even though I guess that movie's kind of gotten tarnished lately with the news. Very sad stuff. Maybe don't go buy football players, basically. It's just ridiculous. But anywho, Kyren Williams over 82.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I would be betting this up to the 85.5, 86.5 that I'm seeing elsewhere for this half unit. We've seen him get integrated mainly on the ground here. 29 carries, 87 yards, 104 yards against New Orleans, and just 15 carries was far more efficient there. But it's a volume thing, friends. Plus, if this is come from behind mode, they are 3-point dogs in this one, as opposed to the inverse. Well, they were 3.5-point dogs against Buffalo, and they won outright. But anywho, my point, Kyren Williams is going to be on the field a boatload. He's going to get all the carries in all the land. Obviously, Blake Corum is starting to get integrated, but in this spot, on a short week, I think Blake Corum was integrated purely to give Kyren Williams a little bit of relief, knowing that this game was coming up on Thursday. So, fire that one up. My favorite prop so far from this one. Before we get to the lock, though, 50% off, code Lindy50. You go to the link below. You sign up for my Tails package. That's where I will give you updates. I'm paying attention to Nick Bosa, Alaric Jackson, 2 massive Q tags. The implications for them cannot be understated. So fire that up at the Discord below. And if there are more plays, such as Tutu Atwell, such as Cooper Kupp, hey, no anytime touchdowns on the board right now, then you can find out in Tails down below. Alrighty, y'all, to the lock we go. The Los Angeles Rams, they found a way to win a football game in kind of a strange game script. Once again, that Buffalo game could not have gone more nuclear. Not very often did you give up 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns to a quarterback, and you win the game outright. But that's what happens when you have a healthy Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. That's what happens when you have a running game and an offensive line that's massively outperformed expectations, not just Alaric Jackson, but everybody across this Rams offensive line. I'm extremely impressed by and was extremely impressed, even though it was just couple carries here and there. They were in a positive game script throughout. Kyron Williams getting the volume as such. They can play from ahead. They can play from behind. There are so many ways that their offense is spectacular, but defensively, this 49er spot, if you have Nick Bosa out, which I'm currently expecting to be the case for Thursday as of recording this, that's a defensive player who's worth a half point to me. And the fact that you can still get +3 here, knowing that it's a short week, knowing that offensively, you're not going to have Isaac Garundo out there. You already are without Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey on the San Francisco side. Pierre Taylor Jr., I bet some people went out and picked him up to not utilize him here on Thursday night. That's kind of going to be a fun one. Good luck if you're in the fantasy playoffs, people. But the more I run iterations of this game, it's just a better suited Rams side to win one game to rule them all. And then knowing that you get 9-10 days off leading into your next game, this is an awesome opportunity, I think, for this defense on the Rams side to show out a little bit too. If they're able to stop the run game there, Juwan Jennings has been an absolute baller. But Deebo Samuel has fallen by the wayside. George Kittle, yeah, he had an explosion game against Chicago, but this Rams defense, I think, is going to have a couple more answers for him and probably keep the top again. 5 for like 150. What are we doing here, Bears? But I really like the Rams in this spot. And it's not often that you're going to just run into a spread being my lock, but considering you're getting the full extra half point right now with that Nick Bosa news pending, and I think you're getting Alaric Jackson, because again, there was no injury that he left for in that last game. He was the best offensive tackle in football last week, and it was a number of other pieces on that offensive line that dominated. It was on the right side with Kevin Dotson looking awesome. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't see how the Rams are getting, it's not disrespect by any means, it's in San Francisco, but Brock Purdy, despite what we saw last week too, not having to chuck it too far downfield. I mean, it was pretty decent, but it's weird to think that I'm betting against Shanahan here right now in a late December football game, but I think it has to be done. Los Angeles gets it done, and then just give me the points here. I think it's too valuable getting that 2.5 to 3. So as long as you're able to lock this in inside of -115, Rams +3 all day. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the NFL streets. Go to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely little Thursday night festivities. I'm very excited for this one. We've had some awesome Thursday night football games of late. We've had some good results on Thursday night football. That helps too. So check it out down below. That would be lovely. Hit the like button on your way out. And I will see you for NFL Lindy's on Sunday. Well, it comes out on Friday afternoon, evening. So check it out then. I'm done talking. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NFL streets for Thursday night.